Boy, this could be a long video. I'm just going to go ahead and get ready. Cheers. Cheers out there to everyone. Texas versus Washington preview is next. Yeah, that's right. There's no cutaway. It's the best graphics in YouTube history here at the Dependent Fanatic channel. Hello, everybody. I am the Dependent Fanatic. We have Texas versus Washington. I think the volume is up enough. I think my voice is not going to be as raspy going into this video. It is the Sugar Bowl playoff game. And it's Texas, Washington. I believe both of them are retaining everyone basically that matters on their team going into this game, which is great. That's what should happen. Both these teams will have a chance to win a national championship if they win this game. All right, just like Michigan and Alabama, who I did in a previous video. You can go ahead and watch that one. A lot of you did, thank you. And new subscribers, thank you as well. Washington is 13-0, and they beat 5 teams that have 8-4 or better records. This includes Oregon twice, once in the regular season at home, and then in the conference championship game, Oregon had another shot, and it was an effective win for Washington there as well. Texas is 12-1, and they beat 4 quality teams, 8-4 or better teams, but lost to Oklahoma, which is another 8-4 or better team. Historically, these two teams have played 5 times, with Texas leading the way 3-2. Washington won the last matchup last season in 2022. And it was 14-17 in that game. Texas has 4 national championships and 31 conference championships. Washington has 2 national championships and 18 conference championships. Now, let's talk about Texas's offense versus Washington's defense, and then later on in the video we will talk about Washington's offense versus Texas defense, and I will give you a prediction for this game. And you guys can all comment down below what you think at that point. But this is what I think, okay? I'm not a professional here. I love that a lot of you watched and liked the Michigan-Alabama preview. That's great, but just keep in mind, I'm a drywaller. Okay, so Texas's offense versus Washington's defense. Texas is getting 37 points per game, and that is 16th in the nation. And they're getting 476 yards per game, which is 9th in the nation. So apparently they do not do well inside the red zone. I doubt that is the whole story. Do they turn the ball over too? No, not really. So what gives? 34 field goal attempts. 34 field goal attempts for Texas. But we have to remember that Quinn Ewers was out midseason, and he had to Malik McDowell or whatever who is transferring out now, had to take the reins there for Texas for a little while. So they had to settle for, but that wasn't all him. 34 field goals for the Texas offense, that's too many. Quinn Ewers at quarterback has 3,161 yards on 71% completions, so that's pretty good. 9 average per completion, so 9 yards per completion is what he's getting. 21 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He's been sacked 25 times as well. Wide receiver Xavier Worthy is his top guy, a Michigan transfer, by the way. Has 73 receptions for 969 yards. That's a 13.3 clip, and he has 5 touchdowns. Wide receiver Adonai Mitchell has 51 catches for 813 yards. That's a 16 average in this game, in his season. 10 touchdowns he has so far, though. Wide receiver as well. Quinn Ewers has weapons. Jordan Whittingham has 38 catches for 435 yards. That's an 11.4 average, and he has a touchdown. At tight end as well, they have a couple of guys. Javion Sanders, 39 catches for 605 yards. That's a 15.6 clip, and he has 2 touchdowns. And Gunnar Helm only has 13 catches, but for 186 yards, 14.3 average, and 2 touchdowns. Running the ball, Texas is okay with a 4.9 team average per rush. Jonathan Brooks leads the way for them, of course. 187 carries for 1,139 yards and 6.1 average and 10 touchdowns. CJ Baxter has 129 carries for 595 yards and 4.6 average and 4 touchdowns. Jaden Blue out of the blue for 56 carries for 339 yards, 6.1 average, and 2 touchdowns for him. So they are going to be going up against Washington's defense. And Washington's defense is allowing 24 points per game. That's 49th in the nation, not very good. And 397 yards per game, which is 97th in the nation. So they give up more yards than points, but that apparently means they do pretty well in the red zone, right? Which is Texas's weakness, right? On offense. Will this be a factor for Washington? But however, their leading tackler for Washington is a cornerback, which is never good if that is your leading tackler. That means people are getting by you, and he has to clean up the slack. Dominique Hampton is who the guy's name is. I will not keep saying he, because 92 tackles is amazing. 2 interceptions and 5 pass breakups is awesome. But linebackers are the next 3 tacklers for Washington, including Edufan Olafoshoyi. He has 83 tackles, 3 sacks, and 1 interception. And then linebacker Carson Bruner has 75 tackles and 1 interception. And Alfonso Tuputala has 59 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and 1 interception himself at linebacker. How does Washington slow down Ewers? It starts with the pass rush, and the D-line is started with Braylon Trice, who has 41 tackles and 5 sacks at defensive end. And also defensive end, Zion Tupula has 28 tackles and 3.5 sacks. Those are not the greatest numbers as far as pass rushing is concerned. So can the secondary make up for the lack of the pass rush for Washington? These are my thoughts here. Like the video, remember to do that. Jabbar Muhammad has 3 interceptions and 10 pass breakups this season. 2 others have 2 interceptions for this Washington secondary, and it is Michelle Powell at safety, who has 38 tackles and 3 interceptions and 6 pass breakups himself. So it'll be an interesting battle on that side of the ball. This is another 3-page video, all right? So buckle up. Have a drink. If you're underage, get a soda or a juice and enjoy. If you are above age, do whatever you got to do. Bourbon, whatever. I like all that stuff. Anyway, let's talk about Washington's offense versus Texas's defense now. Washington is getting 38 points per game. That's 11th in the nation. And 469 yards per game. That's 11th in the nation as well. At quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. was in the Heisman voting, and he was pretty high, and for good reason. 4,218 yards passing on 66% completion percentage. That's a 9.1 average per completion. He has 33 touchdowns, but 9 interceptions is a concern. Only 10 sacks for this guy, which means this offensive line is really good in the pass game. And wide receivers are elite. We got Rome Odunze, a great contributor for Michael Penix and his stats. 81 catches for 1,428 yards. That's a 17.6 clip. And he has 13 touchdowns. Jalen Polk is no slouch with 60 catches so far for 1,000 yards even. That's a 16.7 average and 8 touchdowns. Jalen McMillan has 34 catches for 468 yards at wide receiver. That's 13.8 clip. 3 touchdowns. And tight end Jack Westover has 35 catches for 332 yards, 9.5 average, and he has 4 touchdowns. The pass attack has been so great that they've only needed one running back, apparently, and that is Dylan Johnson getting all the carries, 201 of them for 1,113 yards and 14 rushing touchdowns. What will Texas defense be able to do versus this Washington offense? Texas is allowing 17.5 points per game. That's 13th in the nation. And 322 yards per game, which is only 23rd in the nation. Texas has 2 linebackers leading the team in tackles, and you know I like that. That is good. Linebacker Jalen Ford has 91 tackles, 1 sack, and 2 interceptions, and linebacker Anthony Hill Jr. has 63 tackles and 5 sacks. At defensive line, the line is good with 32 sacks on the team, starting with defensive end Ethan Burke, who has 5.5 sacks, 35 tackles. Baron Sorrell has 4 sacks and 33 tackles. Defensive lineman in the interior, let's go. Byron Murphy, the second, has 5 sacks and 26 tackles. And Tavondre Sweat has 42 tackles and 2 sacks, but he has 5 pass breakups as well. So Sweat is amazing. I'm trying not to forget any great players for anybody, but there are more players on both teams than I am mentioning. I'm just trying to give you a feel of what these teams are going to do. In the secondary, Texas has 3 defensive backs that have 3 interceptions, but less, that's not the greatest, but less numbers is good in your secondary or on your entire team. Means you're getting some 3 and outs. Means teams aren't even going to get to your secondary before they are tackled. Cornerback Michael Treff has 3 interceptions and 43 tackles. Cornerback Jaron Thompson has 3 interceptions and 35 tackles, but he had 7 pass breakups as well. And cornerback Terrence Brooks has 3 interceptions and only 17 tackles, but he had 6 pass breakups. So, Texas's defense is really good. Washington's is not. I believe Texas wins this game 34-24. A 10-point game, that's close in my book, and no one should be ashamed of losing by 10 points in the playoff. If it gets outside of that, then you have to have concern. But it will have been a great season for either one of these teams. Please, well, here we go. I'm not a professional. Please like the video, share, subscribe, whatever. I had some initial thoughts and a preview and prediction for the Michigan and Alabama video. Ewers is and I had a guy tell me, well, I had a critique in that video in the comments tell me, you should do your thoughts, your analysis. Where's your analysis? Here it is. Here it is. Ewers is a gritty, tough player at quarterback. That reminds me of Texas's whole entire team. Very gritty, very physical. Then Michael Penix will not be able to do the same things versus Texas defense that Quinn Ewers can do versus Washington's. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. I love some stats more than others, and you can get rid of strength of schedule, all that other bullshit. I like your record, all right? In this case, Texas has the loss, but point per game differential, Texas leads in that category, and player stats tell a story for these for the team. It does tell a story on what is going to happen in these games. So that is why I like to do player stats more than all the other stuff. What can a guy do? In this case, I think Quinn Ewers and this Texas offense will be able to move the ball, and Jonathan Brooks on the ground. They can play complementary football with their defense, which is something I think Washington will lack in this game. They will lose 34-24. Before I leave, please check out the voice of college football. Mark Rogers has set up a network of fans and contributors over there that is compared to none. And you can see me over there in them chats as well. He is a professional. He's the professional. I am not. He has great hosts like John D'Adamo, Corey Brada, Tim Prangley, Altamore, the other USC guy, all the people. Texas, he has channels for everybody. Mark is an OSU fan though, and his show is midday always on Tuesday, I believe. It's like a soap opera. Who the hell can watch that? Come on, Mark. As a pre-1,000 subscriber, I think I was one of the first 1,000 subscribers, like in the 200s or 300s. I had a different name back then. I was more just getting into it, but I think it's a reasonable request that Mark Rogers should be on the Michigan channel with John D'Adamo and all us Michigan fans next week on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Is that so hard to ask? We'll be interested to see. Give him some pressure. Let's go. But anyway, this was a Texas-Washington video. Texas is going to win this game, and I think, well, you already know that I think Michigan was going to win versus Alabama. So it's going to be Michigan and Texas in the national championship game in Houston. Home game for Texas. Another reason why they are going to be up for this game. So there you have it. I know it went on a little bit. I could talk Michigan basketball. I can talk all this other stuff tonight, but thank you for watching. Sorry, Texas Washington fans, for the ending there or whatever, but you know, Mark Rogers is great. So go over there and watch him. And watch other videos that I have on my channel as well, though. Thank you. And have a great day, everybody. It's going to be awesome, epic bowl season coming up. Starts Saturday. Can't wait.